welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here and subscribing. So you guys, we are in a new year. And so with that being said, we're going to be doing a couple of layouts to start off the year just to get some of those pictures from last year going, and, you know, hopefully we can get caught up again. So with all the pictures, I don't know about you, but I'm always behind on my scrapbooking. So I thought it would be really fun to use this scrapbook kit from Trace Jolie. It is the Simple Vintage Junk Drawer, and this paper is absolutely gorgeous. I will put the link to the reveal up here, and yeah, and so it's gorgeous paper, you guys. You might want to get this one. I'm telling you, it's really a treat. So great for even making a journal and stuff. So if you're into journal books, this would be a really good one for that. So anyway, you get tons of ephemera with this, and we are going to be using some of the ephemera. This is actually the journal bits, and then you get the ephemera. And then we also get some of the leaves, which we'll probably be using. I don't know if we'll be using the flowers or not, because this is going to be more of a kind of masculine type of scrapbook page that we're going to be making. So I wanted to kind of keep it more of neutral colors and masculine type colors. So for that, I am going to be using this sheet here. I'm also going to be using this sheet, this brown one. So these two are going to be our main sheets, okay? And they're going to go side by side. And then we're going to also be using this sticker sheet, okay? And I'll probably go ahead and bring in some other stuff. So, and then from the ephemera packet, I picked out a couple of these things, and I'm going to have to bring in some more, because these are going to be kind of identical, but we're going to change it up a bit on the second one. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to get started, you're going to need 4 pieces of 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 photo mats, okay? And so I cut these a little bigger so that way you can put your pictures inside of here, all right? And those are going to set inside of these 2 pieces, and these 2 pieces are 5 1/2 by 7, okay? So you're going to need 2 of those, and I chose this. You can use either side, and I don't know what side. I was thinking originally I'm going to use this side, but I might use like this side for one, and then the other one use the other side. So you can always change it up. Okay, so next you're going to need 2 pieces that are 6 by 4, and those are going to have mats that are 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and those are going to sit right on top of here like that, so you have a nice little border around it. Okay, and then you are going to need 2 pieces that are 5 by 12, okay? And I chose this. I love this, or you can use the back, whichever you prefer. And I just think that these are going to look really nice sitting across the top. Now, I am using a sketch that I got off of one of my Facebook groups, and that I belong to, that does scrapbooking. And so I decided to go ahead and play along with their little challenge. And so I decided that, you know, I would do 2 of these. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 of them. And so then on the sketch, you also need some other little items, and I chose some chipboard pieces. Now these chipboard pieces come in the kit. These are from past kits, so I divided them up, and we're going to use those as well as some of the other ephemera pieces from the kit. So let's go ahead and get started. So for the first page, now because both of these pages are going to look identical, we're just going to go ahead and place some glue on here. Okay, so you're just going to place your glue around the edges, and then you're going to go ahead and set this about 3 to about 3 1/4 inches down from the top. I just kind of eyeballed mine, but you can lay this down however, if you want it higher or lower, however you want this. So after you place this down, you're going to go ahead and burnish this in really well. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little tool that roughens up the edges of my paper, and you're just going to go ahead and you're going to do that for both of these papers. And remember, we're doing the sketch that is going to be done on both of these layouts. So they're both going to be the same sketch. So for the edges, I used my Distress Ink Walnut Stain, and I'm just going along the edges, and I even go up into and inside of the papers, just to kind of give it that distressed look. And I really love the brown on this, and it's so pretty. So next we're going to go ahead, and you're going to do that for both pieces, okay? Then we're going to go ahead and add this on top of the long strip that we went ahead and adhered down. And you're just going to go ahead, and I think about an inch over is what I did. I just kind of eyeballed it. I didn't really, measure anything out, just kind of eyeballed everything. And then we're going to go ahead and you're going to place a border up on the top of that piece. And I just kind of try to stay with the sketch and what it entailed. I didn't really try to deviate from that. However, I did have to separate. I think I cut my paper a little bit short, the bottom part, or actually the photo mats might be a little longer. So if you want, you can cut those down to fit your preference, whatever you want to do. I just left mine that size and then just kind of worked around that. And then I went ahead and lifted that up and scooted it more above so I would have more room for my photo mats to lay down. So then I went ahead and stuck that one back down, and that gave me a lot more room to put the other mat underneath. So I went ahead and just glued that mat back down right underneath there. And then just burnish everything down. And then I came in with my next mat. Now you'll have the black. I used black. You can use brown. You can use whatever color you would like. And then I got my cream cardstock and just put that on top of there. That's for the 6x4 photo. And then I went ahead and just burnished it down and then adhered it onto the mat. So on the sketch, you have some borders from that are on the bottom part, and this is just along the bottom of the long piece that we adhered down. And so I went ahead and used some of the borders that were inside of the ephemera packet and then the sticker sheet. So that's what I used, and they fit beautifully. I love these borders. Oh, they're so pretty. Now, we do another border, but I'll show you that in a bit. That's for the other page. And then here, I went ahead and glued on the 6x4 mat. And then now I'm just looking at ephemera pieces. And this one I really liked. But I used my ruler. It didn't have lines on it, so I created lines by using my ruler for my journaling. And then we're actually going to cut this a little shorter because in the sketch it is a little shorter, and I really like the decorative edge, so I grabbed one of my decorative scissors and I went ahead and just cut the bottom of this. And I love how this turned out. Now, if you have decorative scissors, these have been around forever. And, usually we don't use them very often. But in this case, I thought it was really fun to put a little spin on the bottom of the little journal tag. And then here I am just doing the tags that are, there's 3 different little elements or embellishments that you put up on top of the right above the photo mat, the 4x6 photo mat. And so we're going to use these. This is a little tag that I cut out from one of the cut apart sheets. I think it's the tag sheet. And then one of the little tags is a piece of ephemera. And then the other one is another ephemera piece that has like a little pocket with what do you call, a library card stuck in it. And so sorry for my loss of words, y'all. I have to think. So yeah, so and then I just went ahead and used some twine for my little bow there, and then I grabbed a little glue dot and stuck it down so it wouldn't move. So don't forget you have glue dots, or you can use your glue to try to stick your bows down so they don't move around if you don't want them to. And it's just a good little what I want to say, reminder, I guess. So, and then I went ahead and glued down the little bowstrings on the little card so that way they don't move around. And yeah, and then here I'm going to go ahead and staple this ribbon on. And I mean, you can use all sorts of little elements that you have in your stash, you know. And I just love how that looked, that little leaf just popping up right next to the dark tag there. And then here this one says thinking of you. And I wasn't sure, actually when I put this together I was thinking of using some different photos, but after I started looking at it I thought, you know, I really thought that this would be a good one for my daughter when she was pregnant with my granddaughter. And although the colors are a little, you know, they're not as bright for like a baby photo, or, you know, I just thought that the vibe and the sentiments that we used on here were so cute, and it kind of really coordinated with the photos that I used. And the photos really pop because they're colored, so the photos really pop out at you, and I really like that. So you'll see here at the end of the video when I share with you what the photos look like on the mat, on the layouts. So now we're starting our second one, and here again we're going to use some of the borders on here, and I'm just placing some borders on here, and I decided to do just 2 separate ones on either side. Cut that one in half, and I placed a word in the middle of it, so that way it takes up some of that room, and you don't have to use a full border for the top of that. And I'm just trying to get that on there straight. I think it's still kind of crooked, but it works. So and it says these are the days, and I just love that saying. So here we're going to go ahead and place these mats down. These are the smaller ones, and they're just going to go right up on top of there. I love the images on this. They're so vintage. I just love them. So pretty. And it makes them look more vintage with the walnut stain, or if you used a vintage stain on it, the ink, the distress ink on it. It makes them look really vintage. So here we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put this one. This is the 4x6. That's going to go down there. And then we're going to make our own borders using a punch. And I really liked this idea because this is a way you can incorporate using some of your tools that you've got in your stash. And if you don't want to use any of the borders that are inside of your ephemera, you want to save those for later or something, you can use these. So I went ahead and just placed that on there, just like that. And I was working late at night, y'all, so my lamp is a little dark, and I apologize for that. But it just, I don't have much light in my room right now like I used to, so it's a little darker. So hopefully I'll be adding some more light to to this area on my desk. And then we're just going to go ahead and glue that 4x6 photo mat down. And yeah, and then you're going to go ahead and add your elements to the top just like it is in the sketch, and just like we did with the other layout. And that is it. Okay, so we're done with both of these layouts, and what I did, I want to show you something real quick. So even though we made them the same, I went ahead and placed a longer picture here because I couldn't find two little ones to put like I did here. So I went ahead and just added a long one here instead, which you can do. It doesn't matter. Even if you make two separate areas for a photo, you can still put a long one in that area if you don't have a shorter photo to put in there. So this is my daughter when she was pregnant with my granddaughter Raven, and then of course my son-in-law Joe, and so they're so cute. And so I just thought this turned out super cute. I absolutely love this. And then of course you have an area to journal down here. I just think that this looks so cute. I love the layout. I love the little sentiments that we put in here that say treasured memories, together. You have thinking of you, and the picture of the baby, and then these are the days, and I just think that this is super cute. And then here we have baby girl Raven at the bottom, right when she was born. Cute. And then a picture of Elise and Joe, and I just when she was pregnant, and so with the baby, so cute. I love it. And so anyway, just wanted to share this with you because, as I said, you don't always have to put, even if you have two separate areas for a photo, you can still put a larger photo here if you don't have one to, two different ones to put in through here. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I have all of the links down below. And take care, and I will be seeing you on the next one, y'all. Bye. Thanks for joining me today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and head on over to Trace Jolie to check out their shop. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment, and join me Friday nights at 4:30 Central Time.